With 2 minutes 50 left, Jalen Brunson knocks down this three-pointer, putting the New York Knicks up by 14 points, a stat line that has happened 970 times in playoff history, and not a single time has a team lost the game. And it's not like New York weren't scoring. They scored 6 points down the stretch, including these nice couple of baskets, particularly this one from Anthony Towns on the layup. But Indiana were just scoring more often. And it starts the same way it finishes. Haliburton looking like he's going to attack, stopping on a dime, and hitting the three. But it's the Nesmith threes that are much more interesting to break down. And it starts with Ben Sheppard setting a great screen here on Bridges, which allows him to roll and receive his pass on the way to the ring. While this was happening, Nesmith looked like he was trying to set a screen for Toppin to potentially pop out for the three-pointer. But what ends up happening is Nesmith breaks free, and because Hart has to come over to help onto Sheppard, Towns gets drawn to Toppin based on that initial reaction we saw early on, leaving Nesmith open here to drill the three-pointer. Interesting to note here, Brunson was the initial player guarding Haliburton on the other side of the court, and he's the one that comes all the way across and is the closest one when the shot goes up, as Siakam is pinning his player down here under the ring as a threat under the basket. 1 minute later, we're actually got a New York lead by 9 after that Brunson layup, but I want you to notice how quickly and simply Indiana set up Nesmith's next three. Nesmith sends Siakam towards the baseline, and it's this little movement that's really important. Siakam attacks Anunoby, forcing him to backpedal into the paint, before quickly turning around, dishing it to Nesmith, and immediately setting a screen. This makes Anunoby too far off the action. He can't show on Nesmith going over this, and Brunson's pinned by the screen, which means the shot goes up relatively uncontested for Nesmith. After the Towns layup, the next one is inexcusable from New York to not defend. Again, Siakam has the ball, but he doesn't attack like last time. He just dribbles up the court, does a simple handoff, pins Towns, and Nesmith hits the long three. You can actually hear Towns here yelling at Anunoby, but he's just wandered back here into the paint. I'm not really sure why, and it's a little bit inexcusable considering how hot he was at this point. It also surprised me that here it took the fact that New York couldn't inbound the ball for the timeout to be called. Thibodeau didn't intend to call one, despite the 14-point lead becoming a 5-point one. Anunoby continues his poor streak, being unable to catch this pass, which probably would have been a layup. Maybe he got chewed out a bit too hard in that timeout. I guess we'll never know. A big overturned call here for Indiana, and we head back the other way. The Pacers get Mitchell Robinson involved in these last two offenses, which is important because he's not really fast enough to defend the three-point line. You can see here Toppin sets the down screen for Nesmith. Robinson doesn't want to switch, but Hart does a good job of getting over the screen. But in his desperation to stop the shot going up, slips, which is just enough space for Nesmith to get the shot off. Definitely his hardest shot in this run. You can see he's off balance, his legs are a little bit all over the place, but still, that's enough here to get that shot to go off. From here, the free throw game starts. Cat hits 1 of 2, leaving the window open for Indiana, and then New York intentionally foul Nesmith as he catches the ball. With 12 seconds left, fouling a 90% free throw shooter is most likely going to put the pressure back on you to make 2 free throws. So I'm not sure about this. Let me know what you think in the comments. And that's exactly what happens. Unfortunately, I'm saying Anunoby's game again as he hits 1 of 2, which is important because it makes it a 2-point game, which means Indiana can score inside or go for the game-winning 3. And psychologically, this is important. New York, you'll take overtime, but you'd hate to lose to the 3. So Bridges overcommits here, lets Haliburton blow past him, which forces Mitchell Robinson to stop him just going to the hole for the layup. Again, small details in Indiana, but besides Siakam in the corner, no one's standing still. Turner's flaring for the shot. Nesmith actually dives towards the basket, which takes his player away, which is important because there's no more rotation defense to get to Haliburton as he dribbles away from Robinson. Like I said before, Robinson is not the fastest player on the court, which is why it's huge that Haliburton was able to attack into an area where he was the help defender. The shot goes in and overtime happens. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe.